here is a very helpful take on desire by the Pythagoreans. And then it ends with a section on food that I think is very funny and also for me very confirmatory about my lifelong dislike for highfalutin food, which I just thought came from my Pennsylvania German background, but actually may have been a deep spiritual truth. But the first part of this is what I find really helpful. With respect to what is called desire, these men are said to have asserted as follows: that desire indeed itself is a certain tendency, impulse, and appetite of the soul in order to be filled with something, or to enjoy something present, or to be disposed according to some sensitive energy. But that there's also a desire of the contraries to these, and this is a desire of the evacuation and absence, and of having no sensible perception of certain things, a getting away escapist kind of thing. That this passion likewise is various, and is nearly the most multifarious of all those that pertain to man, but that many human desires are assiduous. I didn't know that word, but here's the definition. Assiduous, and procured by men themselves. Hence, this passion requires the greatest attention and no casual care and corporeal exercise. For that the body, when empty, should desire food is natural. And again, it is also natural that when filled, it should desire an appropriate evacuation. But to desire superfluous nutriment, or superfluous and luxurious garments, or coverlids, or habitations, is assiduous. They also reasoned in the same manner concerning furniture, vessels, servants, and cattle subservient to food. And universally, with respect to human passions, they are nearly things of such a kind as to be nowhere permanent, but to proceed to infinity. Hence, attention should be paid to youth from the earliest period in order that they may aspire after such things as are proper, may avoid vain and superfluous desires, and thus be undisturbed by and purified from such like appetites, and may despise those who are objects of contempt, because they are bound to all various desires. But it must be especially observed that vain, noxious, superfluous, and insolent desires subsist with those who have the greatest power. For there is not anything so absurd which the soul of such boys, men, and women does not incite them to perform. In short, the variety of food which is assumed is most manifold, for there are an infinite number of fruits, and an infinite multitude of roots, which the human race uses for food. It likewise uses all various kinds of flesh, and is difficult to find any terrestrial, aerial, or aquatic animal which it does not taste. It also employs all various contrivances in the preparation of these and manifold mixtures of juices. Hence, it properly follows that the human tribe is insane and multiform according to the motion of the soul. For each kind of food that is introduced in the body becomes the cause of a certain peculiar disposition. We, however, perceive that some things become immediately the cause of a great change in quality, as is evident in wine. For when it is drank abundantly, it makes men at first more cheerful, but afterwards more insane and indecorous. But men are ignorant of those things which do not exhibit a power of this kind, though everything that is eaten is the cause of a certain peculiar disposition. Hence it requires great wisdom to be able to know and perceive what kind and what quantity of food ought to be used. This science, however, was first unfolded by Apollo and Phaeton, but afterwards by Asclepius and his followers. So, I think for me, desiring after bland, nutritious food is the goal.